Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Best People We Know radio show. This is where you'll meet experts and celebrities who share their success secrets with you to help you be your most successful best too. Your host, Deb Scott, is a certified professional coach at Discover the Amazing You Coaching and author of the award-winning motivational book, The Sky is Green and the Grass is Blue, turning your upside-down world right side up. The Best People We Know radio show brings you powerful resources, effective ideas, and transformational tools you can use to educate, inspire, and motivate you to be your most purposeful, peaceful, happy best. So get ready to experience mind vitamins to feed your whole soul. Good change is about to happen. The Best People We Know radio show. Here's your host, Deb Scott.
And here we are with the solar flare. God, where did I go, Monika? I think I just went around the world. The Global Awakening Institute has just traveled around the world since I lost the connection.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness, that is just too funny. Well, this is what happens with live radio, folks. I am so excited about the show today. I have to tell you, people, this was a spur-of-the-moment show that Monika and I added at the last minute because we were talking the other day, and we were talking about the title of our show, how to let go of stuff, fear, people's opinions, maybe even the opinion of yourself, and to embrace and love not knowing. And it was such a great stream of consciousness that we said, you know what, we got to do a show on this. So I'm very, very excited that we're going to be able to talk about it. And I'm going to edit out that little segue in the beginning, Monika, so clear the fear, no worry on that. We'll be able to get that done. I want to remind everybody that if you want to follow us on Blog Talk Radio, there's a little button on the left, a blue button that says follow. Please do that, and then you'll get updates. And also, the Mind Vitamin Minute newsletter is at debscott.com. And you can find Monika everywhere that beautiful people are, but you can go to globalawakeninginstitute.com, globalawakeninginstitute.com, and you'll find all that. You'll find it on the show page, links to her book and ways to get, private sessions with her and so forth. But if you don't know Monika, I think I better tell you before we get into the show who she is and why I absolutely adore her as one of the best people that I know. And the more you know her, the more you're going to love and appreciate having her in your life. She's an author, she's a speaker, she's a coach, she's a consultant, she's a transformational leading edge guru. She's amazing. She founded the Global Awakening Institute, and what she's done is she's researched, explored, she's taught human dynamics, spiritual development, personal development. She's done this for over 20 years, and she's helped thousands of people just like you and me really begin to apply these inspiring insights so that we can have powerful shifts in consciousness and positive transformation in all areas of our life. Since 2011, she's enjoyed working with somebody that I'm sure we all are familiar with, don-miguel-ruiz, and she's also worked with Toltec shamans and healers. She's been working with people, Tibetan masters, Buddhist teachers. She's just worked with everybody. She has an amazing depth of knowledge in exploring new levels of consciousness through practice of mindfulness and meditation. And again, you can find her at globalawakeninginstitute.com. On the show page, there's a link to her book, and you can email her for private sessions and all sorts of news and workshops. And wow, thank you so much for sharing your shine with us today, Monika. I'm looking forward to the show.
Yes, everything that you said is already not true, absolutely not true. Let's go beyond that label, but it's so impressive, and now I have to live up to it, so I better be good.
You are great. You're already great. And if we could have tape recorded that conversation we had the other day, and it's funny because it was just one of those spur-of-the-moment things where I had seen a Facebook post and you had called and we just started talking about this. Yes. And I think the catalyst was, as it often is, right, we see our story and other people's stories, but I was talking to you about what I'm going through with all of the letting go, with the house sale, with the estate sale this month, going through all of my mother's jewelry, seeing the pictures of her wearing this, and we were talking about it, and you were on fire.
Yes, that's what happens. The moment I hear people's story, and I hear, especially lately, a lot of stories like yours, Deb. There are challenges. I don't know how to, what to do with this. It's a little bit too much to handle for me. I don't know how to look at that. I found myself a very intelligible woman, and I did personal development for so many years. I hear that all the time, and suddenly there is a moment in our life that strikes us, and that's it. What do I do? And that is a question that I've heard over and over and over, pretty much many times a day. And what do we do? Right? And you ask,
what do we do?
And what I told you when we were on the phone, I said to you, stop it. And I referred to Bob Newhart, Mad TV sketch that he did years ago, where somebody comes to him with a problem and he says, I have a great advice for you. Okay, so the lady says, what is this? He said, stop it. And really, that's how easy that is. But we are not conditioned to, we don't understand that it's that simple. We are looking for complex solutions, and it must be something to it, and there's a story. The moment the story comes into a picture, we are completely toast. If we let go of the story, then we would see the things for what they are. And we were talking there about good and bad, right? Because the moment the story kicks in and we are challenged, we are in fear, there's something happening, we label this as bad. The reason why we are going through some kind of challenge is because we made a decision that this is bad for us. This is not according to the plan that we had. It's not how we want it. It's absolutely not. It's not us. We should not go through that. So there's few things that play in here that we can look at. Number one is the entitlement. It's like, why me? Why did that happen to me? And I think this is 99.9% of people. So it's not just taken out of some people do that. Everybody does this. It's like, why me? Why did I get a cancer? Why did I lose that job? Why did I get the divorce? Why did I have to go through it? And the only answer to that question, if you really think about it, is why not? Or why not? Or why not you? Like, if not you, then who? That's that sense of entitlement. We should not get sick. We should not lose our jobs. We should always be happy and healthy and have everything according to our plan. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I just want to pause you for a moment, Monika. I hate that. There's a lot of meat and potatoes there, and so much that you said. First of all, it is funny, and you always use humor, and I'm going to have to post that Bob Newhart clip of the Stop It, because that is something that you had sent to me, and I have to watch it myself, but you had told me about it, and I love it already. But, this conditioning that we're programmed, that we have to know what the next thing is, that if we don't see something linear, that it isn't good or bad based on an expectation. And you really did talk about, that not being comfortable with the not knowing. And I love the story that you shared about the man and the woman, the farmers. Because I want you to share it with listeners, because I think it illustrates what you just said. We label things as good or bad, but we don't know. That could be very good what we think is bad, could be very bad what we think is good. But the thing is, that story I love that story. And then we should talk about how we can be comfortable with not knowing, because I think we're all addicted to, I got to know. Well, what if this, that, that whole mentality. But tell that story.
So definitely just tying to before I tell the story, that's absolutely true. We are programmed to know what our next step is at all times. That's why we do the planning and the goals and setting up, the whole plan and structure and the strategy, thinking that point A is related to point B, and that time is linear, and if we do something right now, that will translate to the next step and the next step. It does seem that way. But each moment A is completely unrelated to moment B, and moment B is completely unrelated to moment C. And although it might seem to our mind, because our mind kind of brings those things together and think that it's a linear procedure or dynamic, it's not. Every single moment is unrelated to every single other moment. So just to give a context. And so we want to know what the next step is, because we think that next step will lead us to the next step. We want to know. So I remember when I was going through the same thing, when I was like letting go of knowing and coming to that place and that space of unknowable. It was really scary. And I went to my friend and teacher, don-miguel-ruiz, and I said, Miguel, like seriously, what do I do? I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen. I've always knew I am such an intellectual. I studied for so many years. I read so many books. I know. I should know. He said, very simple. Practice not knowing. I said, what do you mean? He said, practice not knowing until you become a master of it. Because we are often scared of not knowing. The fear actually is being unfamiliar with the way things are. So when we practice something, we are no longer scared. And we can give an example of public speaking. If we never practiced, we never went on the stage or went a handful of times, we are going to be absolutely scared. But if we went 250 times on the stage, we won't even notice that. So not knowing is absolutely a part of the fun, because I remember you asked me, Deb, you said, Monika, how can I have that what you have? And I told you, Deb, I said, I let go of knowing what tomorrow is going to bring. Never mind in a month, in a year, I don't know. And people often ask me, but you don't plan, you don't make some kind of... I said, don't get too involved with it. Of course, I do have to open my calendar and put some meetings, like, for example, our meeting here today to cover a few things. I'll put this in a calendar because otherwise I will forget. But I don't plan it. It happens. I called you. You said you are not feeling great. Suddenly the conversation started to flow, and we have a show. That's how it works. And actually, the moment you let go...
Yep. I just want to get back to something that you said when we were talking. You said something, and you alluded to it here in the, okay, I'm afraid of public speaking as the example, but if you do it a lot, you're not afraid of it. So this fear of the unknown is really a fear of the unfamiliar, which is something that we have control over. If we want to be able to do something, get better at something, we can always practice it. But being comfortable with the unfamiliar, is that also part of being comfortable with that unknown, which helps us to let go of the fear, helps us let go of people's opinions, helps us let go of the stuff? Is it all interrelated?
So there are two things at play, and that would be going deeper. On the relative, we need to look at ourselves. We are neither the body, just the body, but we are not also only the self. We are the self, but we have the body. So the perspective in which we are going to look at life, and I referred that before when I was speaking with you, it's either people either treat themselves and their life as a kind of solid thing, as a body, or they go completely woohoo and they pretend that the body is not here and the mind is not here. And the news is that until you go beyond the body and beyond the mind, you have the mind, you have the body, you live in this world, you need to look from both perspectives. So it is going to be scary. It is going to be scary until it's not. You are going to be afraid until you are not going to be afraid anymore. How long is it going to take? Nobody knows. Here's the thing. You might be afraid of the unknown for the rest of your life. But if you practice to live from that place, the fear might be here, but you are still going to live in that magical place. And although I live that way, it doesn't mean that I'm not scared. Actually, my best friend, I was talking to you about that. My best friend, she said, Monika, you are never scared. Jesus. I said, no, that's not true. I'm scared all the time because I go on the edge. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I'm open. I'm completely open, and I balance things. I completely go on intuition. Of course, there is a reasoning mind. I do assess things and think about things. But it's a very scary way of living at the same time because, people, like you mentioned, I want to have what you have. I would say, are you really? You cannot have that until you can. So it's not that you can do yourself into it. You kind of become it when the time is right.
And Monika, how does that tie in with something that I thought is very important for the listeners that we talk about this is, letting go and being comfortable and all of these things that you're sharing. What about that image of self? How do we get so deep that we're not even judging, that image of self and getting comfortable with maybe really not knowing who we are or who we thought who we were yesterday is not who we are today, who we were 10 years ago, and the stories that we told and the images that we have in our mind. We're different every single breath that we take, and I would love for you to talk about how you teach people to do that, to let go of the negative or the positive or whatever we label it as, the image of self.
That is a huge topic and absolutely a grand question, believe it or not. So I'm not going to answer this question just this moment. I will try to still go a little bit more about the good and bad and go to the story that I will tell you about the farmer, and then we will try to take it from there, because you can't. I can't. Nobody can. And that is a little thing that the New Age did to people. The kind of New Age movement, they told people, I can do this for you. I can wake you up. I can give you 5 steps to happiness, 3 ways of, awakening, and there's no such a thing. And when I hear that, I kind of cringe, because when we come close to the self and the whole conversation, nobody can give it to you. However, I can point you to it. So that's why I cannot directly answer the question, but we will see how far we will go to bring that deeper. So we're talking about experiences, what's good, what's bad, and how we label that, and the whole concept of not knowing what's next. And we need to keep in mind, no experience, no people or things are inherently good or bad. We actually draw out of people that which we need for our growth. So, for example, let's take Bill, whoever Bill is. Bill is a husband of Susan, and Susan complains about Bill. We are getting divorced, and Bill is like this. Well, it's true, but Bill is like this to you. Bill's mother is going to tell you something completely different. That Bill is amazing son, and his best friend is going to say that he's a very caring person, and his kids might say that he's a very fun father. So we draw out of people that which we need for our growth. So that's good to remember, because people are, or situations are just as they are. So what is good for me might not be good for you. What is bad for me might not be bad for you. So things are as they are. How many times, Deb, did you have a situation that you look back later, even years later, you look back and the situation was horrible, it was traumatic, it was bad, it was drama, it was whatever, painful, and you look back and you say, oh my God, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. Because I had that. I had that in my life when I had few things like this in my life, as a matter of fact. But I learned to look at those things differently. I look at that and I take the best, the meat and potatoes out of it. And that's where I remember I told you, is there's wealth in every poverty, and there's poverty in every wealth.
Oh, I love that. I just love that.
It's incredible. We are so conditioned to believe that things should be this way. And the system, oh, don't we love the system? System wants us to believe that. System wants us to, and the system, I'm not going to go any farther than that. The system wants us to believe what happiness really means and what we are here to do, and we are here to be special, something else, successful, with the big titles on the wall and the big houses, and that's when we are somebody. What about if we strip you of all of it? Who are you then? That's one of the questions that everyone should ask themselves, because you come naked and you go naked. So this is something to ponder about. And in my case, when I had a life-threatening surgery, I had a car accident and a near-death experience, it was so severe that I don't even want to go there. It's not that it affects me anymore, just too complicated. But it's the best thing that ever happened to me. It became the whole platform for me to be able to help even more people around the world, because I have been through all of it, and I got out of it as well. And I can show step by step. I cannot do it for you. Like you mentioned, tell us how do we get rid of the self? It's a process. There will be a few people very lucky in the world, and by few I mean maybe a handful of people in the world who will immediately have that kind of awakening happen. Otherwise, it's a process. We need to, and let's go back to the story. What is good, what is bad? So there was a farmer living on a farm with the wife and the son, and one day their horse ran away. So the wife comes to the farmer and says, oh, it's so bad, our horse ran away. And the farmer goes, no, it's good, it's bad, I don't know, we will see. A while later, the horse brings the whole herd of the wild horses to the farm. So the wife again comes to the farmer and says, oh, it's so good. We have so many horses now. And he goes, it's good, it's bad, I don't know, we will see. And then their son hops on one of the horses to ride it, and he falls off and breaks his leg. And again, the wife comes to the farmer and says, oh, it's so bad. And the farmer goes, it's good, it's bad, I don't know, we will see. And then there was a battle close by somewhere in the next village, and the army was passing through, taking the boys to the army, and they didn't take the farmer's son because he had a broken leg. So she again counts, oh, so good. And the farmer goes, it's good, it's bad, I don't know, we will see. And the story continues. So everything in life is like this. It's just an experience. We just put the label on it, good or bad, according to our desires, our plan, our expectation. Oh, it's not good.
I love that story. I just love that story, and I know that the listeners are enjoying it too. I'm sending out some tweets here while we're talking. I love that farmer's story because it is so true. We get this premeditated expectation, which gets to be a resentment. We get this expectation. We have this label. We're anticipating something to be a certain way. And in the farmer's story that you shared, We really don't know. We have no idea. And they can be both. It's not mutually exclusive. And this is the beauty of having that awakening, that there can be good, there's something good in everything. And, you know, those small hinges that open the big doors really transform, I think, any anxiety into peace, you know, and that idea of there being poverty and wealth and poverty, it just extrapolates that into a place that I think, for me, opens a whole new galaxy of thinking.
Absolutely. It changes lives practically. And I often give my clients a very simple but very powerful exercise to become like a camera lens for a while and practice that. So, for example, if I would take a picture of me and you right now, Deb, what would we see on the picture? There would be me in front of a computer, there would be you in front of the computer sitting by our desks, and there would be some picture on the wall behind, some kind of office furniture, and that's it. You would not see your challenges that you are going through. You will not see the unpaid bills. You will not see relationship struggles. You will not see any of it. So where is that all?
All right, no, I'm listening. I'm letting you continue the thought, because I love this idea of, okay, I'm just taking a snapshot, but it's not. But one small snapshot of that camera lens is not tapping into the emotion of what's been going on. It's not giving you, it's just giving you the desk or the computer. It's not giving you the whole picture. It's just a small moment that doesn't really give, it's a moment, but it's not giving you the depth and the breadth of the feeling, what's going on. It's not really giving you an accurate picture, but it is an accurate picture of that small little portion
moment
that you're capturing.
Of the moment, exactly. But in that moment, Deb, if you really think about it, in this moment, there is no bill. There is no challenge. There is no estate difficulties. There is only me and you talking on the phone. The rest, the whole rest of that is as a story stored in the head. Because then you can say, oh, geez, we are doing the show, and I'm actually already thinking about the next step, which is going to people coming to get the boxes out of the house. How am I going to do this? Because I really don't have any people to help. So if I don't have people to help, we are going to be, again, 2 hours late. If I go 2 hours late, then I will not make it to my next appointment. And that appointment is very important, because if I don't do this appointment, and do you see how we go into the story? Or maybe I'll give it a little bit more easy example. Let's say a car accident. 2 cars that bumped into each other. And what do? You don't panic, because the moment we panic, that means we are in a story, period. There's an accident. Okay, there's blood coming out of my arm. The car is smashed. This car is smashed. Okay. I called 911. Excuse me, I had a car accident. Can you please take me out? I am in pain. That's it. But if you say, oh, my God, this is my 3rd accident already. My husband is going to kill me. How am I going to get my money from my insurance? It took me 2 years last time. And not only that, it was his fault. I think he's drunk. I should, and the story continues. But what do you say?
Yeah, we can really go on with this, can't we? Runaway mind.
It's the story. But if we took a snapshot again, so what I offer people, go for a while, even for a week, and pretend that you are a camera lens and take snapshots of everything. And I have practiced that religiously where? In a subway. When I used to work in a corporate, I would take a subway, and I would be in the full train of people, and I would start looking at what I see. It was not easy. It's a simple task, but it's not easy, because then it was all this woman is tall. Oh, my gosh, nice purse. Look at those shoes. Look at this guy. He's like so obnoxious. And it goes and goes and goes. It took me a while before I was able to just look. And when it got to that point, it was a complete stillness, that to the point that I didn't know where I end and where do they began. It was just one thing going on. It was incredible, to the point that I didn't even see that the subway is moving through space. It was like everything stood still.
Yes, and I think that example, and I can see myself in the subway station as you describe it, we're almost like sleepwalking through life, almost,
Correct.
eyes that don't see. And I think that it sounds to me that the goal that you share is this enlightenment comes when we stop looking for the external things and start looking at the internal. And really what I discover in our conversations is, wow, there's just so much to discover within myself. And just paying attention through that exercise of not judging in the train station, you realize, man, I had a lot of mind chatter going on, about what this person looks like or what's happening next, or, the mind chatter that we have, I think, is kind of shocking, isn't it?
It is absolutely shocking. And let me just even go even farther, because we are going deeper. Like as we speak, we are going deeper. So now coming back again to those good and bad and our chatter, we have to understand that the universe delivers not according to our desires, but to what we need. And often we have that God does not listen to our prayers. Why?
Oh,
because it doesn't go according to our plan. So God must not listen to me. But the universe, again, let me repeat that. The universe always delivers to us not according to our desires and wants, but to what we need. Stopping, you said, I'm glad that you brought it up, because not until and that is already deep. That could be a conversation of its own, but
that could be a whole other show, right?
the stopping itself, it's a whole other show. I just want to make sure that I bring our listeners a little bit step by step. Otherwise, it would just not make sense. Stopping everything, exactly. So what is good? What is bad? What is that chatter? Stop. Stop looking for being special. Stop looking for being different or being successful or finding something out there. There is no out there. It's only here. Like I said, what will happen if you will suddenly get stripped of everything that you have in your life? Let's say your husband will be taken away from you, your kids, your job, your position up high there somewhere, your $1 million in the bank, your condo. What's going to happen then? Who are you then? Because I think that's a very potent conversation to be had with oneself. And that ties directly to this, how do we let go of the self? You can't let go of the self, but you can let go of the idea that you have about yourself. The idea that we have conditioned. And I tell you, that was one of the toughest things that happened to me, that happened to me, because I cannot say even that I made it happen. It happened to me. It was letting go of the idea that I had of myself. Because and that's hard to talk about, really, because when I thought I'm so special, so gifted, so talented, so up there, and so successful in so many things, and I had to let that go, it just fell off. Completely fell off. I, for the first time, felt like nobody. And that was the worst at first, but also the best moment of my life. I felt like nobody. I was nobody. Because there is nobody to be. And then I realized that.
And Monika, that brings to that brilliant idea, and we had discussed it before. Mm-hmm. The idea that we think that we have to look for something, like you said, look for that success, be somebody, appreciated, loved by the husband, have the money, whatever it is. It's almost like what we're saying in saying that is that we didn't have it in the first place already. You know, that's the irony that, well, you're saying that you need to find something. That assumes that you have lost it, but right there, that's the fallacy. That's the stinking thinking that needs to go. You never lost it in the first place. It was there. And this, to me, is so genius in your teaching, because typically the self-help gurus and all the typical stuff, it's always about those questions, how to find, like you said earlier, the 5 steps of this. Right. What you do is you're taking us back to before then. Okay, why are you saying you have to find something? How about you never lost it in the first place? What does that do to blow your mind, right?
That's beautifully said. I didn't even think about this. Yes, I bring people beyond the moment when they started to need something, you know. And that's why I say to people, you can't find love. You can't find peace. Why? It's because you haven't lost it in the first place. It's nothing to find. It already is. And
so give us an example of that for the listeners, because I'm looking at the time and I want to make sure we get this in before the end. And again, everybody, if you want to work with Monika, and I highly suggest that you do, and I'm sure you do, because I've worked with her for years, and she's just so inspirational to shift your mind. And if you want to work with her, you can go to the Global Awakening Institute. She has Facebook pages. She has lots of groups. She has a new book out. So, you know, I'm just going to suggest that people go there. But how do we help ourselves believe and trust that we never lost it in the first place?
And I will probably go to the place where I started with that. Are you ready?
Yes.
Stop it!
Stop it! That's it!
You know, I can, you know, if I want to tell you this, I would have to tell you, okay, you have to do this. So you got to do 3 steps to drop that, 5 steps to gain that, and we are back into the story. Do you see that, what I just said?
Yeah, yep.
We want
I got to post that stop it, the Bob Newhart stop it. I got to post that one, definitely.
People are laughing at that because they think it's funny, but it's very profound. It's very profound because we are so conditioned to know. Tell me, Monika, I want to know what to do. Do nothing. Stop the search. Stop searching for that which you are looking for, because that which you are looking for is right here. And when you stop looking, it will be waiting for you right here. And
I just wanted to, just came to me the story because it's just a perfect segue to what you're saying. I remember, it reminds me of the story where this little girl, she wanted to find ladybugs, and that she had to find the ladybugs. She had to find the ladybugs, and she's out there in the field looking for the ladybugs, looking, and she couldn't find one, and she was so tired of looking, she fell asleep. And then when she woke up, all the ladybugs were like all over her. And it was, as soon as you stop looking, then you get it. And it's just stop it, Bob Newhart. I love it.
And here is the thing. People then come and say, Monika, but come on, what do you mean it's here? I'm here and I'm not seeing it. But you are still doing the stopping. There is a profound difference between doing the stopping, so you are still doing something. Now I'm making a decision that I will do opposite to everything that I have done so far, and I'm going to put this, mean face on, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do this. You are still doing.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it. Don't go anywhere. Don't try to get anywhere. Don't try to be somebody. In that stopping, you will find it, that it was right here along. And when you do, when it finally hits you upside the head, you will laugh and laugh and laugh, and you will not stop laughing for days, like I did. People thought I'm crazy, but I was laughing at myself, at the stupidity, the illusion of it all, where we are going, what's happening, what's important, We are so important when we grow up. One more thing that I want to mention about enlightenment, because you mentioned something about this, and I have so many questions about enlightenment. And I do talk about all those things in my very little book, but a very potent book. And it is Knock Knock, Who Is There? In Search of the Holy Grail. That actually the carrot is right here, not at the end of any sticks. It's you are eating the carrot right now, kind of thing. So I strongly suggest that you get the book. It's a funny book. There's a lot of funny stories. It's only like $2.99 on Amazon. Just go find my name, Monika Burwise, and the book will show up. About enlightenment, I want to say a couple sentences because people are confused about what is enlightenment. And there is one way that I describe enlightenment to people. Before enlightenment, you are in the world. And after enlightenment, the world is in you. There is no difference between those two besides the way you perceive things. So after you get enlightened, so to speak, and I hate that word, so I just want to make sure that many people will understand what I'm saying at least. Nothing changes. People think I'll get enlightened, therefore I will be more liked, more loved. People will respect me because I'm some sort of a guru, shaman, or whatever. This is all the labels. We gotta start looking beyond the labels. Which is that contains enlightenment itself. That's what you want to look for. Not enlightenment. That which contains the enlightenment in itself. So before, in other words, really, before the enlightenment or before that awakeness, you are looking from the outside in, and after enlightenment, you are looking from the inside out. So things are the same in a sense. We are still going to go to work, and we have to still pay the bills, and we still have pain going through life because of certain situations, perhaps. But the way we see that is without a story. It is an experience that we are going to have in life rather than suffer through all sorts of additional stories that come with it. And because of that, it's just organic. It's so enriching. That's where the saying again, there is a poverty in wealth and there's wealth in poverty fits the most. Because if you look at that challenging place you are right now and look at it without the story or without the victim mentality or why me, and see it for what it is and become that camera lens and say, why not me? Then everything just shifts. Everything just shifts. But the reason why people don't want to go that path is because it is 100% of responsibility back in your hands. People don't want to take responsibility.
That's a key, Monika, taking responsibility. Mm-hmm. I really think that you hit the nail right there. The idea that if we take responsibility, what then? Well, then we have a part. We have a contribution. We have a choice. There's a lot that comes with taking responsibility for yourself, for your life, for your thoughts, for the people you're around, for the things that you experience, for the way you let go and hold on. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility with that.
And let me give an example, quite extreme example, perhaps. There was a person, a married couple, and the husband was unfaithful on many, many, many occasions. And we as friends, we knew about that, and we did deliver that to the wife. And she just did not want to hear it. As a matter of fact, they talked from the friendships and stuff. And that's a perfect example. She did not want to face that responsibility for what she has to do when she finally realizes that this is truth. For as long as she disillusioned herself that it's not the truth, she didn't have to do anything about this, right? She could live in that bubble. But the moment she would acknowledge that this is so, she would have to make a decision. And she was not as scared of the situation that she was living in as much as the decision that she would have to make after she would acknowledge the situation. And that's really, really sad. And that's why we have founded with my husband Graham Global Awakening Institute, is to help people really empower themselves, and it provides the resources for people who are waking up, going through the process of that spiritual evolution and finding who they really are, and who wants to explore the mind and the human potential and going beyond the conditioning that we have received from our parents and from the system and from the media that we just talked about too, from the education and social system, and finding what this life is all about. What is that? What after I get stripped of everything? Who am I? Who am I? And we help people find it for themselves. We help them explore the universal laws and principles. So as you see, it is offering a wholesome approach based on so many ideas and studies and research we incorporate in our workshops, like ancient studies and modern wisdom. And we have workshops and the science, and we include mysticism and quantum mechanics and philosophy and information processing theory, things that we studied that most people will never come across, but we just bring those huge ideas and we simplify that for people and offer in a package that must shift your life. And then the balls are in your court, kind of, because...
And I just want to pause for people to understand how to connect with you there, because you've described it so beautifully. It's Global Awakening Institute, and you can go there and find a lot of workshops, courses, coaching programs, where, as Monika says, there's something for everyone, because they have studied, her and her husband have studied all of these different philosophies and connected and bridged the ancient with the modern. And they've done all the work for us, because they've sifted everything down to the basic, simple truths, and then connected the dots for all of them to work together to really release you. And if you want to look at the exponential explosion that is you at this moment in time, and you're obviously incredibly important, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't have something fabulous to do, and you're already doing it. I just suggest you get with globalawakeninginstitute.com, but also you have some Facebook groups. So I want you to tell people about that as well, how they could connect with you there.
I have a fantastic group for women who are changing the world, Women Changing the World, community of inspired women, and also Global Awakening Institute Facebook page. You can definitely like us there and click there, and I always try to come up with some new wisdom and just to keep us inspired and on one page, and definitely offer some insights. And definitely on the website there is a very good tool. It is our blog, and you can sign up for our blog as well. And if you go into the right up corner on the website to our blog, there we offer a lot of free tools and a lot of articles that are pertinent to that. So even if you just go and read those articles, it's going to tremendously help shift your perspective on life. And I would like to just say maybe 3 sentences that will be very important to kind of close that segment. That personal liberation is not a place of rest, the place where you arrive and you stop arriving, but a place where you keep arriving daily. And that is what so many people misunderstand. It's like, if I did that at the point A, the point B is covered. The same like, if I fall in love, this love is forever.
Mm-hmm.
But the relationship is a completely different segment. We should actually cover a relationship in in that perspective, because it would be very powerful for people, and people are really interested in how to understand relationships, because there's so many breakups and divorces nowadays. So maybe we'll be able to do that. But it's arriving daily, because no moment is related to the previous moment. So you got to make that decision of your personal liberation and of love, of peace every day. And one of the biggest points that I have learned in my life is that all is really one. All is one. There is actually nothing outside of yourself. All your experiences, the good experiences, the bad and indifferent, all the people that are seemingly not nice to you, all challenges are all you. What happens at that moment when you finally realize that all is one and all is you, you finally realize it is all your responsibility. And we talked about the sense of responsibility. And the mind strategically created a split into the good and the bad, and are choosing to be responsible for all the good. Think how the mind thinks. The mind is choosing to be responsible for all the good stuff, so all our successes and advancement. But when it comes to the bad stuff, somebody else is responsible for.
It's interesting how that categorizes itself so easily, isn't it?
This is huge. So we are going to say, hey, I got advancement at work, I am such a good worker and creative, and I am successful and I make so much money, but I'm not responsible for my divorce.
That's so awesome. It is so
funny.
true.
And the moment you get that, you are going to laugh too, because it is actually funny. We take everything so seriously, and that's what kind of messes up with us. That is, nothing is serious. So,
well, I tell you, I can't believe we're out of time, because it pains me.
Yes.
It pains me to let you go, because I've just enjoyed so much speaking with you.
Stop it!
Stop it! And oppose that. Yeah, the real gift, the real gift that we can all give ourselves here today with you, Monika, and I think the gift that you give is, the struggle's over, and the struggle. That's the real gift. And I am feeling more peaceful just listening to you share and talk and give personal examples from your own life, and the hope and the enthusiasm is really contagious. I want to encourage people to connect with you at the globalawakeninginstitute.com. And there's so many different tabs there for events and workshops and newsletters and blogs and all the things that you're doing. What would you like, here we are at the, beginning of September, which is just amazing to me. What do you want to tell people as a final thought to live the rest of their day? Like maybe an exercise that they can do as soon as we disconnect this phone to continue connecting with you in spirit. If you don't mind.
You would have to just repeat that. So sorry, Deb. I had so many things to say. I was just thinking.
I was just trying to say is, that the end of the show is not really the end of the process. So, we may end now, but the spiritual connection, that's continuing. So I was just wondering what you could tell us to do today as we end this time together now. Is there a little exercise where we can, I know you've given us many, but something that we can do just for today so that when we put our head to the pillow tonight, we can really see in our own life these lessons that you've been teaching?
I'm going to hit from the completely the biggest shelf, the highest shelf on the top. And I can give you exercises. And please connect with me. For all your listeners, Deb, I'm going to offer a free consultation so we can see where your situation is, what I can do for you, if there's anything I can do for you. That consultation will be free. You can contact me on the website. There is an email address. You can also email me at Monika with a K at globalawakeninginstitute.com. I do want to work with you. I do want to show you many exercises, as a matter of fact. But for today,
we have 30 seconds, so I got to have you quick because we're going to.
So what do I do?
My girl's going to shut us off.
First, who you really are. Who am I? Before you go to sleep, ask yourself that question. Who am I? Who is Deb? Who is Monika? Who is Shelley? Who is Mark? And we will talk soon.
Okay. Monika, love it, love you, love the listeners. Thank you, everybody. And connect with Monika.
Many kisses to all the listeners. Thank you so much, Deb.
Thank you for listening to the Best People We Know radio show with your host, Deb Scott. For more on Deb and her guests, plus her award-winning guidebook to transformation, The Sky is Green and the Grass is Blue, Turning Your Upside-Down World Right Side Up, go to Deb's website, greenskyandbluegrass.com. You can also connect with Deb for coaching or speaking, and sign up for Deb's free Mind Vitamin newsletter while you're there. So now, you're one step closer today to your greatness. We look forward to being with you next time on the Best People We Know radio show.